Okay, hello. Time for me to work on things and finish stuff that I was doing. It's a bit echoey in here now. We've been removing things due to, moving. Eventually, someday. Hopefully sooner than later. Who knows? We still need the appraisal, and then from there, who knows? I have no idea what we're waiting for after that. So I'm working on new inventory stuff. The idea now is that I'm gonna have 2 in-hand items and 1. Wait, where is this? Oh, that's that. Should put this all in the same thing. Yeah. I'll get rid of this. What was that? What just happened? Why isn't that going away? What is going on here? Why couldn't I delete it? What? That's real weird. Either way, I'm making a new setup here where you're gonna have the ability to have 2 different items. One in your, one in each hand. One's gonna obviously be your clipboard. And then, for the most part. And then you'll be able to do like the bottles for mixing and like larger items you'll need to get like 1 of. Maybe I should just do 1. So it's like clipboard is obviously the other, and you can't drop that. Yeah, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of speedy strat where you could like drop the clipboard and then maybe. I don't know, we'll see. So there's in hand. I'll have, I don't know how I want this to look. Because I'm thinking I'll do pockets on the left here. It's gonna look just like the other ones, but you can only have 6 things now. The idea is you got 4 pockets, you can have like whatever size things. So six things can be in your pockets. So you have like your flashlight and your maybe smaller items, like the matches you pick up and things like that. Clipboard is obviously too big, so that would be in your hand. And then things like the bottles for mixing the embalming stuff will be 6 beers. Hey Nate. I'm just debating if I should even have 2 hand slots or just 1. I've been already setting up for 1, so till you find the beer helmet. Need to make a house party game where you have to have all the appropriate things for getting drunk. We'll call it Edward 40 hands. And you've got 40s taped to each hand, and you have to figure out how to become more drunk after the 2. Title. Oh, and the title. Yeah, I gotta envision how I want this to work, how I imagine it looking. Because I've got the item render here, which, I could go the same height as items, I guess, where it's 650 and it'll still fit. Yeah, both of those are fine. So we'd still have, okay, what's in your pockets. Now if I could have 6 slots, I don't know if I want to really change how I do it. Hold on, let's see, what did I do here? I got add item, If it's not a large item, we do the normal thing. If it is a large item, we check, you know, is hand 1 or hand 2 empty? At least I think that's what I'm doing here. We'll see. I could say is not null or is null. Then I'm going to drill further and say, okay, is it 1 or is it 2? If it's 1, I throw it into the 1 slot. If it's 2, I throw it into the 2 slot. And then if it's a clipboard, because clipboard's going to be a large item now, it'll say, hey, I've got the clipboard. If I remove item, yeah. Now, here's a problem about being able to drop those, because I would check something in my pockets, and then I'd have a drop button, but then I would also need something in hand here where I would select it or click a drop button right here. Interesting. Let's take a look at some other, let's look up some reference. Let's see. Inventory. A lot of it is pretty like basic. Like this sort of stuff, you know. But I feel like that doesn't quite fit with what I want to do. And then this stuff obviously is MMO style. That's too much. Maybe Resident Evil. Ugh. See, there's the idea of like an inventory where you can just fit, you know, certain size stuff. It either takes up 2 slots or 1 slot or whatever. Yeah, and that's the thing is I don't have a need for Tetrising. It's not like it's not a super item dependent game. It's more about limiting what the player is doing, right? Like I have thought of the idea of, you know, large items because I was looking at the prototype again, and you know, you're doing everything one at a time. You're getting 1 bottle of something, pouring it in, get another bottle of something, pouring it in. Whereas the way it is right now, you're just gathering everything, and then you've got them all, and then you just go bloop, 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 done. And I don't want that. I want the player still moving around and having to do things. So it makes sense that small things you would have in your pockets and larger things like a whole bottle of something would be in your hand, right? You're not putting that in your front pocket or anything. So that plus your clipboard, your hands are full, and then you can have stuff in your pockets. So that's what I need. It's more the limiting factor to have a bit more control over what you're doing. I mean, I could do something like, let's screenshot this. So the old Photoshop. I could do, let's see, there's something here. This isn't how they've intentionally set it up, I think. And I mean, they have an equip and like a sub-equip thing in the old Resident Evil stuff here. So maybe if I did something like, get my pencil here. Change it up. Hardness, yep, spacing, transfer shape. There we go. Pen pressure, cool, good. And I'll use red to go over it. All right, so I'm thinking I could do pockets where it's something like this. Oh my God, turn that off. How do I turn that off? I don't want any of that. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So those are your potential pocket items. So do it like that. And then underneath it, I could have, or above it actually would probably be better. So I'd be like, these are your pockets. In-hand item. And then maybe another in-hand like this. So they're like a little, they're like bigger. And the pocket ones are like longer and thinner. And these are like what I already have, the little slots that spawn. I'm just getting into this again because now that I'm doing the embalming stuff, obviously I'm trying to figure out how I want that all to feel, so it sort of relies, like they go hand in hand here, picking up these items. I could do like a... It doesn't really matter, I could do LR. Something like that. And then... obviously we would have the render over here on the side, so you can still click it and see your render. Same for your hands or pockets. And then the description would be here instead, and that's the view. I wouldn't have these anymore. Hey Cody, what's up? The other thing I could do if I wanted is I could do like this, if I went straight. Hand. Or like an icon of a hand or something like that. And that's what goes over here, you know? Oops, another one. Yeah, mainly inventory stuff. I want to wrap my brain around visually what this is going to be like. So right now I have item collection just work as the 501 Brad. Thank you very much. Ooh, and Sir Sorrow, thank you very much for the follow. Both of you, appreciate it. So right now I basically have infinite inventory, right? And the problem with doing the embalmings is when you grab, like, you know, I have you doing a mixture, right? Where you need like 4 different ingredients, something like that. And in the prototype, you go grab one, you pour it into the thing, and you go grab another, and you pour it into the thing, and you can only carry one thing at a time. So I was like, that's part of what I think worked in the prototype, where it made people wander around, right? And so right now, you can just walk around the room and go mine, 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 mine. And as soon as you have everything, you just go over there and go click, 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 done. And so I want to make sure I have some control over that. So what I'm doing now is giving the concept of pockets and what's in hand. And so pockets are going to be limited to 6 small items, and hands obviously 1 each. So clipboard will be in 1 hand, and whatever you pick up that's larger will be available for the other slot. Now you'll be able to drop them. I don't know if I want any, we'll see if there's value in that. I think maybe there'll probably be some speed strats in the future where someone could be like, you know, I'm going to drop my clipboard now, even though I need my clipboard for like everything. I'm going to drop it, and then I'm going to go pick up these things. I'm going to pick up 2 mixtures, go bloop, bloop, pick up 2 more, bloop, bloop, pick up my other, you know, my other large items, connect, pick up my clipboard again, right? So I think there's something there. Playing the demo, I really like the one item. Yeah. No, I agree, Sarah. Absolutely. So, which is why I'm chosen to do this, is I want to make sure that, you know, you can only carry one thing at a time. Speed run. So things like your flashlight would be a small item. The matches would be a small item, you know, and there'd be a couple things you use for embalming that I'll still need to add that will be small items like clamps and stuff like that. Because if you notice when I do the embalming, here, I'll show you. Let me check something real quick if you guys haven't seen it all. One moment. Uno moment. User me. App data, look below. Where are we? That's on digital, Mortuary Assistant, save data, delete. We'll see if this even works, actually, now that I think about it. We're gonna go ahead and turn this off. Some things may be broken because I was writing code and then just sort of stopped. So let's see what happens. I was in the middle of writing this inventory code, and then we went and did some other stuff over the weekend. So I just kind of ditched it. I mean, I took notes and wrote comments in my code, but then I started this. So let's see. So show you the process here. It looks like it'll work. So I'm gonna. We'll see. I haven't picked up any items yet. We'll just do this lady. No, we'll do, because I need to fix some height issues with her. We'll take him. I need my clipboard. I'm done. Everything should still work as long as I don't have stuff labeled as large items, which I don't currently, I don't think. Okay, that's gone. Uh-oh. What have I done? What have I done to do this? One moment. Be right with you. One second. What's your deal? Oh, I bet I did set it as a large item because I'm like, I'll figure that out. Oh no, it's not a large item. When's it to? Oh, if not, okay. This needs to be in each line. It can't be in its own thing, otherwise it's just going to delete itself if it's not a one at a time item. Because I have things like, you know, like a scalpel will fit in your pocket, but I still don't want you to be able to have more than one. So I'll be like, I can't carry anymore, right? Awesome. Excellent, Sarah. Glad to hear it. Thank you. All right, let's try this again. I had just a line of code that was making it remove itself because like I said, I'm still in the middle of refactoring this stuff. So pick this up. So now we got our clipboard. You can see I can still render it and everything, but it'll change, right? This is sort of halfway from what I was looking at. All right, so I got the clipboard. Now I'll be able to do stuff. Sorry to move my mouse pad. So we'll take Bob here. This is the dude. You notice he has a different name, different location. I don't have my clipboard. That's not true. Oh, I made it. Ooh. Sorry. Hold on. This is the problem with doing things in the middle like this. Hold up. I'll add this for now just because I want to actually show it. Large item, there. We'll just remove that because I'm in the middle of reprogramming it anyway. All I want to do is do the process. If it breaks again, I'll have to abort and just finish it. There we go, so now I've got it. See how it comes up? It comes. Doing some inventory work. So we have Scoop, I think is the dude name. Yeah. There we go. Bring you out. There we go. Move the table. So currently, I'm not even going to bother with the inspection. I'm just going to shoot by this because I can do that right now. I'm just going to enter the name and age and be done with it. There we go. Inspection's done. Now we're in the embalming part. So what I'm going to do, this is what I can do right now, is just be like, boop, 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 boop. Of course, I may have a limit now because I did limit it to 6. So now I got everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. Glad we've. Oh well, 0 counts. So whatever. Anyway, so I've got like everything I need now, and so I can just stand here, and be like, okay, I'm going to do my mixture. So let me open this up, and then whoop, whoop. There we go. That's done. And so now I can go over here and I make the incision and I put the tubes in. There we go. So now they're ready to, you can see there's like the clamps in there and stuff. So you're gonna collect those things. Those will be in your pocket. But now this is ready to go. And you can see we got the water line hooked up. This is all good. Start the pump. There we go. But you can see, like, I didn't have to travel around the room at all, right? All I had to do was go pick up some stuff real quick. And then nipple clamps. This is a different game. It's the secret. It's a secret room up above the the cold stores. But yeah, there was no wandering. There was no moving around the room for like getting views of things or anything like that. And what I want to do is get the player like going around, being like, okay, I'm gonna go up here, get that. I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna get this thing. You know, stuff like that. So this is done now, so I can turn off the pump. And then I can, I'm finished. This one's done. And I can move back to cold storage. But anyway, you know, obviously the embalming process is going to be longer. Just by nature, all I've done is set up the steps. Also, there's that. That's a thing. Oh, I didn't remove... See, yeah, I didn't remove the tubes. This dude wasn't ready to go back. So there's that whole thing. But I'll fix that as well. Yeah, I shouldn't have been able to move them. It should have been like I need to, you know, I need to remove the hoses first or whatever. There's each step in the embalming system. I have an enum that it steps through that you can see right here. These are all the separate ones. And so what I can do is if I try to use the clipboard to send it back, I could check which one I'm on and actually have a soundbite of the lady, the main character, being like, I need to, you know, I need to close the incision first. I need to remove the tubes first, whatever, right? So there'll be that. But anyway, that's why I'm working on the item stuff right now, is because it's one step in the direction of the player not being able to just gather everything, do everything real fast. We see the player need to use the... no, not necessarily, Sorrow. The thing that I'm trying to do, the line I'm trying to balance on is giving you enough of the embalming to feel like you're doing it, but not so much that you become bored, right? That's the only thing that, like, because you do 3 bodies. You embalm 3 bodies, and the core of the game is supposed to be the creepy stuff that happens around you and the things that you need to do in the environment surrounding those things that happen. They're all clues that lead to which body is possessed and what demon it might be, right? And you're supposed to use the tools at your disposal to figure that stuff out based on what's happening in your environment. So if I'm doing 3 embalmings plus all that stuff, I feel like that's good. But if I start making it like... You know, I originally had it that you were going to wheel the body down the hallway to take it to the embalming room, but that was going to prove to be a tedious process if you had to do that 3 times, wheel them around and get them in and out and like clear the room with a cart and all that sort of stuff. Had a few workarounds that may have been okay, but ultimately it lost focus of the game, right? So I have to stay focused on it's about embalming and it's about creepy shit happening around you. Those are the 2 core things, right? So if I spend too much time doing one or the other, I'm going to stray too far. If I have creepy stuff happening every single second, you're just going to become desensitized and not care. If I have you embalming for an hour straight, you're going to get bored, right? So and then if I do all that plus constant interrupting, it's going to start to feel weird. So you see what I'm saying? Like I may add more steps But there are things like, you know, washing the body with sponges right before. I'm probably not going to have you do that. But what's beautiful about that, though, is that if I do find myself being like, you know what, this could really use another step, I have steps available to be like, okay, I'm going to add this. Because this is a good one where, you know, maybe I'll have you set the face, right? Maybe I'll have you actually go and chunk the mouth closed or something if I need to have time for that. Be great for lip syncing. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And so I'm basically trying to keep them on reserve for like, okay, I can do this if I need to. So what I'm doing right now is looking up some reference. I'm looking at the Resident Evil, like the old Resident Evil UI right now. And I'm interested, it's interesting how much dead space there is, you know? Let me go ahead and take all this. What I'd like to do is remove this so I can move things around. I'll just take that, move back, keep it under there. Now I can move things. Same for this. I want to get under here. Thank you. Thank you, Barctic. Working on a holiday. That dead space is contextual, I think. Like, you mean just to give your eye a place to rest? I agree with that, if that's what you're saying. I agree with the thing I think you're saying. But yeah, I think having some empty space is good. Oh, some other stuff goes there sometimes? Okay. Well, either way, whether that's the case or not, I think it's useful having a UI that is not just like, here's a bunch of shit packed onto the screen, figure it out, right? I think it'd be nice to have some breathing room visually. Oh, I see. There's space for your other character. There we go. We should get some emulators and start playing some Resident Evil. Take a look at their UI and how all that works. Not that I'm doing Resident Evil, so maybe not. But I do like the condition that does work with I mean, I still need to work it all out, the distress stuff. But I could do something with that. I honestly, yeah, I wouldn't mind if, let's see. If let's just take it. Let's just try it. Like, here's this. You know what? We'll clear this whole thing at this point, because before it was there from messing around. Now it's like, let's get all this figured out. For research, yeah, absolutely. Pull up Amnesia and make it so even if you're in a bad condition, nothing happens, yet they think something does. That's the true game design right there. Make them think you're doing stuff. So here's pockets. I'm going to keep this as a separate thing, and then hands will be their own thing. So I could do, like, if I really wanted to pull Resident Evil style right here, I could go pockets. And hand could be right here. Just don't make one. Let their yeah, that's a good point. And then I could have the explanation here. And then I could have the render take place here. You know, it's just an image, so it would just show up over a blank background, I think. So you have that. And then yeah, I could do like the distress here, whatever that might be. However I want to visually do that and tie this all together. I'm imagining actually UI similar to Our Secret Below, but maybe a little more flourishy, where I want something that feels a little like decorative, but like old and scratchy kind of stuff. We'll see. Because I'm gonna stick with like, I do like the old tattered sides that I've been doing for all my my stuff. Make this feel all like old and scratchy, like old photos or something. And then I would have, yeah, like the drop. Right here. So if you selected something, it'd be like name, info about it, render, and then whether or not you want to drop it. So I could do something like that. Oopsie doopsie. I hate how the colors keep changing like that. That's why I don't do it when it's Photoshop. There. Let's keep looking at other reference though. So we've sketched, you know, basically what's going on with the old Resident Evil setup. That's kind of cool. Hey, Megapixel, how you doing? Let's see, pockets will become like... The thing is, this shouldn't be... Oops. You know what, let me get rid of this whole... that. This is what become like a scroll bar type thing. But that would, obviously, if I'm only gonna have 6 things, your pockets are only gonna, they're only gonna hold that, so I probably don't need anything right there. I could do some sort of flashy shit on everything. Connect this to the side. See, I don't know if I want pockets there or if I want, let's keep looking. Oh, yep, here it is, here it is. It's exactly what I was, oh wait, this is the old one. But maybe this one, it works the same way actually. That is the render window. This is exactly what I was just doing. Yeah, Nate, yep. So yeah, like exactly what I was just doing. But here I could do like hands and then have like a thingy here. You can have both boxes of whatever items, empty or otherwise. And then, yeah, this would just be completely empty. Except for when something was chosen to be rendered, like, you know, your clipboard or something. This would be some sort of bar of some kind. You know, there's kind of a cool, there's an old game that I want to make something that is in that sort of vein at some point. I've mentioned it before, Blade Warrior. 386 game. Images where the inventory. Yeah, here we go. I mean, this is a little, you know, obviously this doesn't fit for this, but like the whole thing is sort of themed in this stuff. So maybe I would do some sort of like creepy dead stuff, you know, something that had that feel. Like I could literally do like a cross here or something. Keep it Jesus-y, you know, because that's where all the evil stuff comes from, is you know, demonic possession and things. Jeebus. All Jeebus all the time. And then maybe I could have like a skull type thing here. Just decorative, you know? And then it would have to be, you know, something would separate here. So this could be tied to the corner, and this could be anchored to this corner, and this could be anchored to this corner. This could be like, you know, anchored to this corner as well. And that way that can all be together. Just so varying sizes. I could have a tiling thing here, I guess, if I really wanted to connect it. That could work. I don't hate that. And then what I could do, if I really wanted to go on, I could do like pieces of paper that are, you know, like the little cards I've made for promo stuff, where it's just like a little, in fact, the thing's right under the stream here, the little tabs. I'm sketching again, so let's just combine them all. This is just like, you know, slip of paper, and it's just like that for each of them. And I mean, obviously I make it fit 6 instead of 4, because I would make them the proper size. Realize that was 3. Not that this matters. This doesn't matter. I'm fussing over nothing. Anyway, so I think that'd be cool. So you would select them, and then that's when you would get this description. So I think that's pretty cool, actually. Oh, you know what I'd really like to do? Ooh, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make a shader for bringing the inventory up that's gonna look like reverse paper burning. That'll be really cool. Yeah, I'll like that. That'll be neat. So it's like when you press E to bring up the inventory, it'll be like. And then I can have it burn away again as it goes away. That'd be pretty cool. At least I'll think I'll be able to do the entire thing that way. If I did it on a canvas group, I could probably do something. Or, yeah, I would do a mask, I bet. I'd have to look in further how I would do it, but I think that'd be cool. Okay, so what I'm gonna do then, let's see, move this over here so it stays up real quick. We go into Unity. I'm going to move the UI around just so that all the pieces are there. So let me bring up my inventory UI. Hey, Victory, what's up? And what I'm going to do is actually give you this view here so you can see it in game while I'm working on it, because I'm going to go in 2D view. What's this? What's this shit? Op name. You are not supposed to be anything. What are you? You're not a raycast target, you butt. Ooh, I wonder if that's one of the things that's... whatever. Fade to black, yeah, that's fine. That is a raycast target. Inventory. So, looking at the sketch here, we're gonna move a bunch of stuff. Avatar. Pockets, you ain't needed right now. Pretty large, so we're gonna go height 200? Nah, height 180? Knocked about, right? Yeah. So it goes out to there. I'm actually gonna go like 160, I think. So that's what that bar will be. Get rid of the distressed text. Fill. It's gonna be, that's centered, so 100. All this stuff is going to get moved around because there's going to be designy stuff that plugs all this together, obviously. And I'll break it apart and do what's appropriate. On the bar... Oh, that's why, if I wanted to do fill amount right now. Yeah, I'd have that. Whatever, it can look gross, I don't care. Not right now. So this won't have the info anymore. Name and info. I think I'm only gonna have the name on a different location. This is gonna become what? 150, I guess, by 150, or they're pretty large. So let's do width 180, maybe 200 by 180. Maybe a little more, 256, 256. Yeah, that's about the size that I have in the chicken scratch over here. And then the name, I think I'll put it down at the bottom. So a height of 0. Oops, nope, not that. Position. And then 0. We'll center the text. Oop, that's not that. Oh. Derp, I'm silly. There we go. Alright, there's the item name. And then the picture would be like right here. Is that gonna work? I guess if I know it's going to be a big item, I'll know that I just need to render that out. Because this is going to become just like just an icon render. 230? Yeah, I'm just going to have it take up that space. There we go. And then right hand I'm going to get rid of. R hand. So left hand, right hand. I'm gonna go up here. Put them up in the center, or up in the corner rather. Okay, that's the renderer. That's the explanation. Item info, you'll go right about there. Width, I don't know, 800. Height, 300. We'll figure it out. Let's say 256. It seems about right. No, that's actually pretty thin. Looking at the look at the one there. So maybe 900 and 240. Yeah, it seems good. The clothes, I'm just gonna put anywhere. Put there for now. I don't know. That's the render. I'll leave it. The item name is actually going to go into the long info now. I'll go here. And that'll be position 32. Right 200. 200. There. Now that's centered. Long info. You're going to go right here. And the top, I'll make it, I don't know, 50, 60, 60, 64. Yeah, okay, that'll be good. There, long info or item info is ready to go. Cool, cool, cool. The renderer is just going to be the image itself now, so I'm going to delete this. That's that. Cool. And then pockets. Rename this to pockets. Maybe over here. It's gonna be 6, so it's not gonna be that many. This held 6 pretty well like this, so I think I'll make the width 600, just for the hell of it. Nah, I should make them the same as the other. What's going on here? There we go. I'm gonna have to fudge it just a little bit to get this to be the same width about. We'll just call it 530. There we go. That's the pockets. Right hand, left hand, go about there. Are they about the same height, or where are they on that? No, they're a little under it. They're more like right here to there. And then this, pockets. Let me change. Clamped. Run it type. Can't go vertical or horizontal. Visibility, auto hide. Nope. Permanent. There we go. Permanent, permanent. There we go. Okay. Now we have our window that will get populated with stuff. It's more that, you know, I wonder if I even need it in here. We'll see. I think I might need to rewrite all of this stuff, because right now what I do, my inventory manager, when I first start, I instantiate, I use an object pool for all this shit, and I'll build it out. Let me get rid of that before I forget, because clipboard is a large item. And I'm going to have to do all sorts of things based on whether or not it's a large item or not. Because I have things like when I remove an item, it has to be removed from the inventory. So I need, you know, now I have 2 different locations where things can be. So I need to be able to remove those. Okay. I think I'll be able to, whoopsie dipsy. I need to do that. lordy, lordy, loo. Exit. I'm gonna throw the exit up in this corner. I'm gonna make it just like what, 64 by 64? It's too small. I can make it a 80 by 80. I just have room to go down, so I think I'll do that. Why is this happening? What is this? Oh. There. It's just text right now. So this will say like hands right here, but then it'll like visually it'll go up into some thing here that'll have the X button. It'll close it. Then I'll have pockets right here, cross right here, skull. That'll all be pretty badass, I think. That means for this background, let's see what I can do with it. Let's see what we can. Boop, 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 boop. Probably keep it like around that or something. But for now, I'll keep it lighter because it's going to make it easier for me to see. So the question here is, do I want to keep with object pooling, or should I just have, since I know now that I have a finite number, I'm going to have 6 items that you can get and carry in your hands or in your pockets, your lady pockets. But I don't know. I said lady pockets because like they have small pockets usually on their pants. Not anyway. So they're going to be 6 things that you can carry at any given time. So I know that. So do I even need this viewport stuff? What I could probably do is let me get the inventory. This is going to be some rewrite, but whatever. That's what we're doing. That's how we get better. It's constantly rewriting shit. So I would take like the item slot here and I'd just be like, boop. And go, where the hell did I just put that? That doesn't need to be there. I would put it like here, maybe. And I could put it in pockets in its own thing. And I'll just put 6 of them here. I don't need anything else. The rest of this is just, yeah. Remove this component. Now it's just an image. It's just a panel. That's all. So I'd say 1, 2, 3. No! We're just one. We're one away. That's fine. I'll make them closer, and then I'll see where I can go after they're close. So there's 1 item, 2 item. Now, I think what I'm gonna do, as long as I'm making this different, let's just delete it. This whole thing. Whoopsie doopsie. There, like that. So I got the item name right there. And then I'm just contemplating having a larger, like, if I just have a universal, like, this is my image size, you know? 230 by 128, that's really weird. Hold on. Yeah, no, I didn't think so. I could do 228. Let's do that. That's for optimization, so that when I bring something in, it's a power of 4 or 2 or whatever. And I can now get a whole lot of space saved. Like, it doesn't take up as much space for an image that's been compressed when it's power 2 like that. So 228 by 128. 228 by 128. Perfect. And now the name can go, stop at you, can go right here. This will be centered. So it's gonna be just like the pockets. Basically. But for this now, both of these guys, what are they centered? They are centered. Center at the top. That's why it was weird, was because I did that before. Whatever. Now I can tie it to the top. There we go. Let's just give them a wire thing. Visually, this will be like a little panel thing. It's kind of a slot for the name and all that kind of stuff. But the actual image will be just right in there. So I think that'll work. But that's still big now. Poop. Still very big. I mean, I could put them side by side, just like these guys up here, basically build the exact same thing. Where I say this, oopsies, this guy is actually this. Pocket one. And this will be in, where was I? Pockets. Right there. And I could make them two. Just like these guys. Then I can fit these really well. Stop you. And pockets. Just make it a little bit more widthy. 560, sure. And then I don't know why it's there. There we go. And these guys will be set like this now. We'll keep them all anchored to the center top. And we can take all that, lower it just a bit so visually it's not all up in its business. And there's our pockets. Also make that a little oopsie doopsie. Which one are you? Oh, those. I just need to be a little closer. There. So there's our pocket setup. So now I can have the name and the image. That'll work just fine. I'll just instead make an array of the existing ones and just plug into that. I won't be doing any more object pooling. Before, the issue was like, I don't know how many items you're actually going to have, and I may just let you collect however many you want. So that could potentially balloon to a bunch of stuff. So instead, now I'm gonna limit it to 6 in your pockets and 2 hands, and so now I don't need to be doing all that instantiation of things for object pooling. That's our little render guy. I think we're good with that. So, yeah, what I need to do now is the actual code for that. Start working on this, where I need to have item slot pool where I don't need that anymore. Yeah, let's destroy this. Okay, public. Yeah, we're just gutting. We're gonna gut. I'm gonna look for where I instantiate things, and I'm not going to do that. Oh my goodness. All right, I don't even want to look at it. I'm gonna build what I need. We're gonna say. Class bowl, public class, inventory slot. And then this is going to be public image icon. And then public string is going to be name, string, public string name. And then we'll say public bool pocket. Do I want, or not pocket? Ooh, Because I could do the exact same thing, but... So I'd fill this up. I mean, I could make another one that's just inventory slot like this. Ooh, hold up. Oh no, wait a second. Let me undo everything I just did. Because that may have been... I've made a huge mistake. Alright. Oh no, that's all game objects, not inventory items. No, I was right. I haven't made a huge mistake. I've made the perfect amount of mistakes. There we go. So now we got inventory slot, because that was game objects, just for the object pulling stuff. Now, that means I'm going to need new... I don't know what that's used for. So, whatever. I'm going to do... Close this out. Close these. So I have inventory slots, and I have inventory items, which are the actual, like, the data related to those items. So I ping that information, but I need the slots themselves. I could just say, okay, the first two in this array are left hand, right hand, and I could write accordingly for that, and then everything else would just be, you know, the remainder. So the other six would be like, these are just everyday items. Ooh, but the problem... I guess I was just thinking, like, what happens if I have no item there? Do I want no tab? Like, do I want nothing? Or do I just want an empty box? I think empty box is good because it shows... I already do it with hands, and I think it shows the player that, like, I have 6 slots available in my pockets. So I guess that's good. We'll just leave it as is. Okay. So that's where I'll set the sprite. So when I clear it, what I'll do is just empty... I'll just turn it off. The actual image. They'll all be off initially. And the item name will be off. And it'll just be a background that's like a clickable button that, you know, won't... It'll be disabled if... yeah, the images themselves won't be targets. Let me save this. This is going to get weird. This is all going to get weird. I know, bud. I know. I know, bud. It's okay. Yeah, this is all going to be a thing now. Because I don't have this as a... What are you? Are you hidden? What's happening? Why do you look different? Oh, because it's dropped? No. What is happening here? Why are the icons different? Why is this grayed out and this one's not? I've confused myself. Whatever. Picture, picture, picture. There. Oh, for real? Did I have something selected that I shouldn't? Oh, just because they're different types. It's like, I don't know what to do. You're not raycast targets. Name, 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 name. Extra settings. They are also not raycast targets. However, they pockets themselves. Twilby. They're raycast targets, and then there's going to be... These aren't buttons, so I'm just event trigger. And that's what will happen is going to be like, I'll just have specific ones for hovering over, clicking, things like that. It's better to use these anyway because this is going to give me like hover over sounds if I want and things like that without any real extra work. So, okie doke. Okay. That way when I do like a little glowy thing or something like that, it doesn't affect the actual icon that's on top of it or the name, so it gives me some visual and direction what I want. All right, so when I start, set pool, item slot pool is not a thing anymore. We don't care, so I'm not going to do that. What are we down here? Get pool. Oh boy, update visual inventory. Here we go. Item under node, child count greater than 0. Oh, this is a whole thing. Scroll window, we don't need any of that. Gutting all this shit. Pool count doesn't matter anymore. Item slot, that's what we instantiate, doesn't matter anymore. So now we've got our inventory slots, which is our information here where we hold the icon and the name. We have my items that are actually in the inventory. From your save file, it pulls the scriptable objects and adds them. I'll be doing the same here for these individual left hand, right hand. And then, yeah, that's what I already have for add item here. As if it's a large item, I check to see if there's anything in 1 or 2. If one of them is free, we check if 1 or 2 is free. And if 1 or 2 is free, then we add to the saved data the ID name. And then I'll need to specify, is this the populate? Oh, it's just adding the item. So that's fine. All I'm doing here is just adding it to my library, and that's fine. That's totally good. Then we add, if it's clipboard, we set clipboard to true. If we are above 6, or if we don't have either hand free, we say I can't hold anymore. I guess I could say else if and put that up here instead of this junk. Have another nested in here. It's probably better. And then I could do an else here, where I would say I can't hold anymore. I mean, I guess the value in doing 2 different ones here is I can say, like, I could have an audio clip that's like, I can't fit any more in my pockets, and another one's like, I can't carry anymore. So that way, you know that you do have room. You do have room, like, in your, like, it's sort of a way of telling you, like, oh, these are big items. So I could keep it that way if I wanted. But I wouldn't get I can't hold anymore if both weren't taken. So this is really the way to go. I'll just have to have sort of a generic thing. But, ooh, I need this though, because, okay, this still works. This still is 2 separate ones, because if it's not a large item, I check to see if I'm carrying 6 items. If I am less than or equal to 5, so 0 to 5, I have, wait a minute. No, it needs to be less than. Not less than or equal to. Yeah, okay. So it actually needs to be less than 6. So if I'm less than 6, I'll add those things. I guess I could, what, less than equal to, it doesn't really matter. So if I'm less than 6, I can add the item. If not, I can't carry anymore. And I know it's a small item, so I can have an audio byte that is related to that. Otherwise, if it is a large item, I check to see if either hand is free. If not, then I'll say something else. Like, you know, my hands are too tiny. Something like that. And that'll be fine. Cool. Now we remove an item. This is going to be a whole thing with, let's see, for every item in the item list, that's these. If we find something we break, then I could say in here, yeah. If it's the flashlight, we remove it. These are specific calls because the flashlight has other things that it needs to read. Then we would say after those, I would say if we broke, yeah, I could just return. I could just end it all. Not even continue. So we break the loop and we get out of the method. But if this isn't met, then we'll continue and we'll check to see if item or hand item 1 dot item ID equals ID, then we would remove that item. Instead of removing it from the list, we would simply say hand item 1 equals null. And I need to then do that in the save file as well. So it would be game manager save items. We'll call this hand item 1 equals null. Equals string.empty. There we go. The string is what's used to identify the objects in the save file. So we can do that. And I can't. Oh, you know what? I'm returning this ID no matter what, so no, I don't. All those small ones will have to be in here. All the big ones can be at the end, because that's all that would be left, and it would be checking those. But I could break. Like, if I remove it, I break, and obviously these wouldn't match, and then... But there's no reason to step through this extra junk if I don't need to, so I might as well return. Next, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to check hand 2. Else, if hand item 2 equals ID, hand item 2 equals null, and we remove the string. There we go. So that's removing the item. Okay. Now, when I remove that item, item list is, yeah, that. Now, when do I destroy the related object? Oh, I haven't implemented that yet. This is just removal during gameplay. I haven't implemented removal in the inventory yet. So like dropping something. So eventually, let's see, remove item in gameplay, add removal in inventory screen, drop item. So I need to go back eventually and be like, hey, if I'm dropping the item, I'll probably do something like, you know, bool drop equals false. And then whenever I want to remove an item and I'm dropping it from the UI, I would specify as true, and then that would go through the appropriate thing. I'll probably have another method where I would then remove it. So whatever, we'll not worry about that right now, though. Update inventory list. This is when I come back in, though now that's probably going to be a little different. This all was based on object pooling and like basically repopulating every single time, and I don't need to do that anymore, so I need to rewrite that whole thing. Oh, hey, look, a drop item. Oh, it doesn't do anything. But I planned to do it. That's what matters, is that I, you know, wrote that with good intentions. We got select item. That'll be a thingamabob. Get child, game object. For what? Item render. Oh, I'm dumb. Oh no. Okay. Oh, I'm a big old dumb booty. Oh no. This is for the renderer that things come through. There wasn't a specific, yeah. So basically what I'm doing is getting the first child, which is the game object that is spawned, and I destroy it. And then I set the info and the text to empty, and then I need, what do I got here? Item name, item long info, those are correct. So inventory scroll window. No, I don't need that. Don't need that either. For each item in item list, I don't really need that either. This is just to clear, at this point, this is just to clear the renderer. I don't refactor any of the list anymore. There's 6 fully existing items at all times. They just don't do anything. I don't need that. Oh, okay, I see it does replace it. Item render, transfer, what am I getting? Item ID. Oh, I'm sending the item when I select it. Got it. Okay, yep, see what I'm doing. Been a minute since I've been in this piece of code. It's getting lighter, and that's what's good, is I've removed a lot of junk. So that's nice. But I'm also adding more junk, so. Item check. Okay, that just tells me if I have. Ooh, wait a second. Each item in item list return true. Then I need to check if inventory item. Oh boy. That's for each. I'm silly. Hand item 1 dot item ID equals ID. Return true. This is to see if I have an item of a certain name in my hand, and I do the same thing here because I do checks when I'm carrying something. I always do else if, so if it meets it, we're done. But yeah, return true, return false. So basically we check through every single item in our pockets. And if we have that item, it returns true. Otherwise, we check our hands and see if we're carrying them in our hands. If we are, they return true. If not, then we don't have that item at all, and we return false. And then we are not allowed to do certain things because we do not have what we need. Update visual inventory list. This, I believe, gets called the moment I load the interface. So I clear anything that's being rendered. Neat. And then for each item, this is just activating, and then I'm setting that object. Okay, slot populate is part of current slot. That's the game object, so I can't do anything with that right now. These things already exist, so I don't need to do this. This only gets updated now when things actually change. When I pick up an item, I need to add it. And then when I drop an item or use an item, I need to remove it. So right now, we're gonna say update inventory visuals. And all we're doing for that is clearing the renderer right now. I'm sure there will be other things, so I'm obviously going to keep that. I just want to make sure I'm doing the right thing here. Select item. I don't think this is used here. I'm pretty sure it's called from, oh, hello. Click data, what is this? Oh, this is the item slot. Yeah, okay. This is the actual, like, populator script. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing some rewriting on this shit. The way it works right now, yeah, see, I'm adding a component to this, but this is sort of what I just built here in this class, the inventory slot, where I have the icon and the name. I mean, I could build out more, have the item info as well, populate that. We're going down a rabbit hole here, but that's the price of doing an overhaul like this, completely changing how I display items and use them. So I select an item, I clear the item that's being rendered, and I set the item's name, text. This is all fine. Item to render equals instantiate incoming item preview object item render node. So this is coming from somewhere. I think I have to do a hybrid here. I think I have to do, like, I have to make these buttons have that same script, essentially. The same script that's like, you know, when you click me, I've got the script on here that has my item information. And that gets added. Sorry, my kids are playing in the background. I know it's beautiful to listen to. Item interact, yup. Bwah, 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 bwah. Incoming item. So this is where, yeah, final references. I'm gonna get select item. This is when I click this. This is item slot populator. Hooey. Item slot. This is, yeah, what lives on this. Now it has no item object. It has its related image. So yeah, what I could do is just have the item object, which would be, where is it? Inventory item. It's gonna have its own inventory item that gets specified. But I may not need that anymore. They do, because I have those items now in this list, but I believe these are the possible ones. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. Let me see. Inventory manager, inventory slots, item list. There's nothing here. Yeah, and none of these get populated. I gotta basically walk back through and see how this gets added. So yeah, this is where we add them. To the items currently in your inventory. So I know I have those, and I know where they live now because I have a specific, you know, if they're in this slot, then that's what's there. The only issue now is moving an item up if I want to do that. You know, you use an item, I guess it doesn't really matter if you have, like, you know, 2 items here and an item down here and these are empty. I suppose it doesn't really matter. I just need to check each one and be like, hey, is there an empty one? Yup. Okay, cool. Let me find one and add that information. So much shit. So we've got removing an item, we've got checking for the items, we've got adding an item to your list when you pick something up. We have the update visuals where nothing happens now, so we won't actually see anything. But that's because when I add an item, I now need to update the UI. So, Herm. It's interesting. I'm thinking maybe I need my thinking wine. That's always worked in the past. Like, seriously, it has. So we're gonna have, first thing I'm gonna need to do is I'm gonna say void, just to sniff and swirl, not drink. No, the drinking is important. I won't pretend. I can sniff and swirl at the same time and feel superior, but, you know. Who's kidding? Let's see. So when I add an item, I'm going to do populate slot. And then I think what I'm going to need to do, what did I do here? This is selecting the item where I was sending that. So I'm going to need to add the item. Those things get added to the list. I'm gonna have to check each one and see if the image is enabled. I think that's gonna be the easiest way. When I remove an item, I'm gonna have to, do the same thing, but I'll disable their image. I think that's gonna be the easiest way for me to tell which one is not in use at the moment. The other thing I could do is kind of walk back just a little bit and instantiate and do like a grid layout on the UI. But I kind of like having this fixed thing. I suppose what I could do actually is bool in use. There we go. I'll just step through each one and be like, if it's in use, I'll refactor. I mean, maybe, because now I can check each one and be like, is it in use? Now I'm not getting components and checking shit and everything. I can just, I've got it. And I know where they are now because I can look at their number in the array. And I could write something where basically anytime I remove something or drop something or whatever, the objects that are in use get bumped up to whatever's available. Previous ones going to the next one, something like that. Though again, I don't know if it's actually worth it writing that. Could be a little polishy thing if it's something I really want to do. But for now, when we add something, when we add an item, we get the incoming item. So we need that information so we can get inventory item. And then it's going to be int slot, because this is going to decide if it's a pocket, if it's no. Because I'm adding to and from this list, so that's going to be changing constantly. It's not a static, it's not an array that is unchangeable. And I want to keep it as a list, so I will ignore that. Because I'm also thinking of like adding hand items, like when do I know I need to do that? It's like, okay, it's one of the 6, so I have X slots. I know if it's from here. I can tell I'm overthinking this right now. I can feel when I'm overthinking it. Like a wiener. No, I don't want to click that. Damn you, Twitter. All right. What? Which one? What? Yeah. Holy shit. Sorry, family member had a pretty unfortunate time in the hospital the past month. Heart stuff, and then the whole family ended up getting COVID from being in the hospital during all that because it was there for a long time, which fucking sucks. And man, just awful everything. Blech. Yeah. Fucking terrible. All over, man. Okay, for each, I'm just going with it. For each inventory slots. For each inventory item, item in inventory slots. What happened? Any slot inventory item. Oh, I'm dumb. If item dot oh, I'm silly. If it's not in use, we gonna do shit. I do a hospital a few times mid last year. It was a scary place. Yeah. Yes, I know I was streaming last time. It's just a different type of stream. Everybody want to know what was so crazy. I was streaming like this. I was working. I also really like the jittery DSD logo behind the chat. I think that's pretty rad. And it was just, you know, a way for me to work. And I didn't talk or anything. I just played music and worked. And I couldn't, you know, obviously it's not going on YouTube because of DMCA issues. I was just listening to music and working. It's not like music like this where it's like the same, like, you know, 10 hours or whatever worth of music playing in the background and it's okay. It is chill. Thank you, Megapixel. Thank you. Somebody gets it. Anyway, if it's not in use, item info, which is what now? Do I need the actual inventory item? Nah, because I got it in here, dude. Why do I want... I know I work with them both. Shit. Do I even need this list anymore? Because I add that to the list. You know what? I think I need to. I've done those too. Some people might like them, and I get that. Yeah, I totally get. Yeah, I get that. But I also, you know, I stream 5 times a week like this. So additional streams, like, you know, I'm working all the time, right? That's just what I do. Sometimes I think, hey, if I'm like modeling or doing whatever, you know, whatever, people can hang out and chill. That's cool. Some people just want something in the background, and that's fine. It's cool if they don't like it. I got 5 other streams that aren't like that, so you know. I know, dude, and I was just about to say, I know Bullet's messing with me. I'm not being serious in any way, shape, or form. So yes, Bullet, I know. Hush. This seems so redundant because I'm putting, but I get why. I put the incoming item on the button, so when I click the button, it looks through these and goes like, oh, okay, it's this one, so I need to get this information. But I know this is used elsewhere, but where is it used? Good question, Brian. Let's look. I'm checking through each of these. I add them to the list, or I remove them from the list, or I do an item check. Yeah, this is like at the start, I'll add the items, but I'm gonna have to then populate the buttons. So at this point, maybe I don't need it. Maybe I just need to be like, hey, here they are, in here, in the inventory slot. That's what's happening. Makes you almost want to do the same. And that's part of it, right? Is if I can be, I mean, I could do, if for some reason, you know, having the camera here is a necessary thing. I mean, I could put the camera up in the flow stream, but the idea is that I'm just working, you know, It's not as talkative as right now, and maybe that's really the key, is just specifying that, like, you know, hey, I'm here, I could talk, but it's more just me working. Maybe I'm listening to YouTube, maybe I'm doing whatever I want. I'm just, you know, I think expectations are lowered when you're in the in this sort of thing, and people are just like, you know, if it stops for a moment, you're just on another tab. Sometimes people might pop in. I mean, I had about fluctuated, but it was about 5 to 10 people that were hanging out, and honestly, that's pretty good given what it was. Okay, so I think, let me see here. Inventory slots. I could make this an array that is specifically 8 slots, and just be like, the first 2 are hands. You stay away from those. You stay away from my hands. And then after that, it's all pockets, baby. And you just put pockets, like when you're adding stuff, you're like, oh, these go in, you know, these, if it's below 6 in my my item. Oh, wait, but that's the list count. Shit. I would have to check for each one being null instead of looking at the item list count when I've added it. I could make a... I was saying I could make an inventory slot, but that's already used for the buttons that are there, so it's already a solid thing. I'm checking whether or not they're in use. I basically would check, yeah. I think this could be okay. What I'd have to do... Restarting, 1 second. Yeah, what I'd have to do is, like, for int I equals 0, and then, like, make the first ones the pockets, and I'd say I is less than 6, then I plus plus, and I would just do the first ones. So the last 2 would be hands. Either way, you stay away from the hands until you finished with the pockets. Then I would, instead of adding that for each of these, I would then say if, yeah, inventory slot. If inventory slot I dot in use, and just say, hey, if it's not in use, now we'll do all that ish. We're gonna add that item. So where we check, wait. If it doesn't contain, if it doesn't contain that item, add that item. Why do I have that? It might be left over from before. I don't like this song. I know all these by fucking heart now. Boop! Next one. Get out of here. All the bleeps and bloops. I know the difference now. So I'm checking through each one. We're ignoring this item list count shit. I'm just writing this out. This feels very... I know this looks very stupid. I'm just rewriting it. So for the pockets, for the first 6 slots, I will check the inventory, and if it is not in use, I will add the item. But if the item already exists in save data, then I know I've got it already, and I shouldn't be adding it. This is where I would be like, but whatever, I'll ignore for now. I just want to get this right. Add item art and info to UI. So that would be where the populate slot would get up in here. So actually what I can just do is then say populate slot, and then that would be inc item. So incoming item, So I add the item to, it's going to be whichever one of these, basically. It's going to become inventory slots I dot icon equals incoming item dot item icon. And it's a sprite, not an image. I'm silly. Dot sprite. It's going to equal the sprite, so we set that. And then we're going to say the exact same thing, but we're going to set it for name equals incoming item dot what item ID short. What am I doing? In world object. Oh, snip snap. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm setting all the populate stuff in here that I mean to do down here, but I've already checked these things. What I'll do is I'll lift this and make a new method. So let's just ignore this for now. I'll just turn all this into a new method. But what I need to do is get, where are you? I know you exist somewhere. Haha! The name will become this right here. Name equals yeah, my string name equals text manager incoming item ID. So what I do here is go to my text manager and pull that information, be like, give me the name, tell me your name, and then it like adds it to the string. So then what I'm gonna do after that, it's not gonna be a string. I'm silly like that. It's gonna be a text message GUI. Yep. Dot texticles. There we go. Seeing people. Oh, it's the same thing. My brain, I'm lapsing. So right now, what happens? We check through each of these. Boop, 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 boop. We're gonna ignore these right now and just keep. We're gonna remove this. So if it is not a large item, we step through the first 6 of our array. That will build it out in Unity. I'll type a new message for you to read. Thanks. I'll read it again in about 10-15 minutes. I'll look back and I'll read it again. Don't you worry. I got you. So I don't need to add to this list anymore. I think. Let's be brave. We can always rewrite stuff. Look at everything I just broke. Rad. All right. So we check for the first 6. And we go, hey, man, is this slot in use, dude? And it's like, nah, man, you good. Okay, cool. So do I already have this item in my saved file? No. Awesome. Go ahead and add it. I think this is maybe a remnant of when I was trying to fix another issue a long time ago of getting duplicate items in, yes, it was from the load stuff. Yes, okay, I'm gonna keep that for now. And then, if it does not exist, yeah, because I use the same method for adding when I pick up an item as I do when the item starts in game to check if I already have that item in my save file. If I do, it re-adds it, so it doesn't want to add it again into the save data. Otherwise, I'll have 2 instances, and then next time I load in, and it's going to be like, you got 2 of this item, which isn't supposed to happen. So that is the check there for now. Whatever, good enough. So the name and the sprite get made, and then we're going to say in use equals true. In use equals truthitude. We got our item info itself. Which do I need? I do need. Dot item info equals incoming item. There we go. So this is for when I pull it from the future. When I click on it, it will then have this inventory item on itself. and I'll be able to load data based on that. Whereas what's coming in is when I first pick up the item, it sends its incoming item, its inventory item class to it, and I can pull that information the first time. But after that, it'll be pulling from the actual array. So I think we're good. I've set everything. Yes. So I say, hey, I'm in use now. Cool. Then what I need to do... Yeah. We're gonna say, I mean, I guess I could have like a bullet up top that's like added, and I could say, okay, this is added, time to break out. But I guess I would break this here and say I'm good. And then the incoming item ID, if it's flashlight, it says, hey, I got a flashlight. But I can't do that unless the item is added. So this is where this is going to be its own method. But for now, I'm gonna keep this stuff here. So if it's in use, or if it's not in use, I'll add the item. If it's a flashlight, we're like, hey, cool, got it added, and then we break. But I need a quick check. This is what gets, yeah, the bool added. We'll say added equals true, and true. And here we're going to say added equals false, and then we're going to say if added is false, we don't have any more space. We didn't find a slot. We're boned. We can't hold anything else in our pockets. And we're like, hey, I can't hold any more in my pockets. Wink. Okay. Then we're gonna check our hands. We'll play handy hands here. I'm gonna have to then check. I'll do another loop, I guess. I'll do an else here, I suppose. And I'll check then to see if, if 7 and 8 are available. Those are our ends, our hands. And then I essentially do the exact same thing. Good afternoon, Diablos. Good to see you. This debuggy can't hold any more hand stuff. Frowny face is going to be carried up into here now because of how this is going to work out. So this is actually going to become an else. So get out of here. And now you don't make any sense, do you? It's gonna talk to my code. It's gonna talk to my code, that's all. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. Fargo? Oh, cool, I haven't seen Fargo yet. There's so much stuff to watch. Oh, you know what? I know these. I don't need to do 4. I can do exactly what I've got here and just be like, hey, is inventory slot this in use? That in use? Is inventory slot 6 dot in use? If it's not in use, do that shit. If it is in use, try this shit, but with 7. And then we add the hand 1, hand 2 items. And then this is where things get wiggity wonky here, where I'm going to add, it's going to be this again. This is where you're like, I need to write a method when you're doing things a million times. Void, setup item info. And this is going to be incoming integer and also inventory item. Right? Yeah. Item. Boopsk. And then this is going to become X Variance. No. 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 Here's what we're going to do, actually. We're going to set this to I, and then we're going to rename it to something not stupid. Rename. This is going to be slot num. There we go. So that becomes in use. Incoming item. Yep. Slot number. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. So then I can do setup info here, where it's setup info. I. Incoming item. There we go. Beautiful, is it not? So now I know, all right, I'm at this dude. And this is the same as before. Sets the bool, sets the this, then the that, and the others. And then this becomes the same thing, where I do the setup instead. But this is for 6, and this is for 7Zs. Because 6 and 7 are our left and right hands. There we go, I think. And now if the item... Okay, so the item's not large, we do a check. And is that all of this? Yeah, so we can say return. Oh wait, we already went down this path. It's not going to check otherwise. It'll just complete because it's an else. And then after this, it's done and done, so we don't need to do that. So break out of this when we've added an item, and we're good to go. So that's adding an item. We'll see if that's good. I'm also going to, just because I want to, equals new inventory item array of 8. No. Wait, that's for a list. What am I doing? Oh, slot. There. That way I'm certain that I'm doing things that way. Oakley dokley doo, those are all ready to go. That builds up. Can't hold any more stuff. Frowny face. Can't hold any more in my pockets. Winky face. So if we didn't add anything, we do that. Then we would say... I could do this, where I put this on the out here. Just at the start of this. And I could do the exact same thing, even though it's kind of silly here. You know, that gets added, that gets added. I could say if added, so nothing got added, then we would say debug loggy, I can't do anything. And then I could return, and that would end it before I got to here. So this is where I can eventually make a method after I've got enough things I need to check, where I'd be like, okay, item clipboard as clipboard, you know, checking for all these different items to see what actually came through. This would only happen if I have actually added something. I'll make it an else, so they are related. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So we added true. Yeah, and I just didn't want to have this done multiple times, one here and one here for every single item. So then it's going to be void check special. Let's see, hold on. Add special item. Void remove special item. And what's going to happen is this, where we are going to we're going to have the incoming. It's going to be string item ID, because we're just going to send it in like this. Tem ID. There we go. So what I can do instead is say else. If we didn't add anything, we'll do add. Whoopsie doopsie. I'll get incoming item ID. There. Same thing again. We'll do it for here. We'll just say, there we go, add special item ID after we've done the setup. So we know we've added an item, we've set up our item, we check to see if it's a special item. If it is, I didn't add the thing I needed to do real quick, which wasn't great. This is for dropping it. And if it gets, I mean, right now I got these ifs. If it gets big enough, I'll do a switch. They're just a tiny bit faster. And then we got our add special item. Okay. Setup, item info. Get that up and going. We add our special item. This is actually that checks it, and then set up item info. This should really be rename populate UI objects, because that's what's happening. Comes in and sets all this stuff. Now, when we remove an item, geez Louise. Now, what are we doing here? So we get the item ID. So I would say for each inventory slot item in inventory slots, I would check each one. Let's say item dot item info dot item ID. If that equals the ID, then we'll remove the item. Remove it from our save file. We'll do remove special item, and that will be ID. No need to go digging through shit if we've got that already. We don't need to remove item list, doesn't exist anymore, which is why we have all this red shit going on. So we're gonna get rid of that. No, thank you. So what I need to do automatically apply, will removing it from the save file automatically apply to save state. So I do yes and no, like it's ready for when I save. Like I'm doing a lot of stuff like this where I add and remove things and read from the save file like information, like from that class when it's loaded up, so that whenever I do a save, that stuff is already up to date. I don't have to go checking through everything and be like, you know, checking all my local information and being like, what's the state of this? Okay, add it to the save. What's the state of this? Add it to the save. Instead, it just takes the save file in its current state and just goes, and then I reload that back in. So that's why I work out of the save file for a lot of things. It makes saving much less of a headache, like figuring out the whole saving stuff. Removes a middleman anyway. I think I'm actually going to have to do a for loop like I did before, because I can check and see, like, if I remove an item, I check to see if the item ID matches. And if it does, then I remove it from the save file, great. But removing that specific list... Well, no, actually, no, because I have it here. I have it here. I just can't... Ugh. I just can't have a separate method for it like I do for adding. Like, see, I populate where I do this. And I would basically want to do the same thing for removing, let's see, for clear UI object. And then that would be slot number, but I would set in use to false. I don't need an incoming item. I would just set that now that I have it. I'd say item info to null. And then text icon would be null. And then the text would be string.empty, right? So I would have to do a for like this. Yeah, maybe that is the way to do it. Now, if I remove the item, I don't think I even need to worry about, yeah, let's just do it on top of these. And we'll say, ew, gross, what'd I do? There. So, removing an item, we check, we're going to check the same thing here, but we're going to say inventory slot dot I dot item info dot item ID equals ID, same sort of thing. This is where we then go into here and we'll remove it. But we're gonna have to step through all of them this time. So now I remove it regardless, doesn't really matter. And then I would do remove item. Oh no, clear UI object. And then that would be I. We're just gonna send in the number value, and that clears everything out, regardless of whether or not it is a hand or not. But then I could say right here. Oh no, because that gets, ooh, wait. Because we go to remove here, and I would have to say, that's for save, right? Thanks. Yeah, I'm a ball. I'm gonna have to say, I could do this in the clear where the number that comes through, I could be like, hey, if it's a 6, do this. If it's a 7, do that. So I could do that where when I'm clearing the object, because I have to remove it from the save file, but I already remove it here. So I guess gotta go to sleep. Keep my watch hours low. Gosh, to keep my watch hours low. Later, Yamba. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to clear it and then separately be like, if I equals 6, do this shit. Else, no. We're gonna do it first. What do I have copied here? Save hand 1. Yeah. Then it's a else I equals 7. Hand 2 equals empty. What has happened? What is this? Oh, I'm dumb. Else if, and then I would say else do this guy right here to do the regular removal. So we clear out the visual UI, and then we do a quick check to say, is it the left hand? Is it the right hand? If not, then we will remove from save data this way, from the regular method. Then we can go ahead and take care of this, where I would then say, I think just remove special item. ID, my bad. Item ID. There. So I have the ID that comes in. So it checks to do exactly like this, where it says clipboard and checks it. It just does that. And then we've done what we've came to do, and we can break out of this and say, see you later, y'all. Item check. For each item, for each inventory slot item in item, if I could spell items, what am I doing? What am I doing? Inventory slots. So in there, we would say if item info dot item ID equals ID, return true. We already do this now for left and right hand. We good to go. Good. Holy shit, did we just clear it all out? Did we make it? Did we do it? We may have. Hold on. This doesn't feel right. Inventory, yeah, that's fine. Drop item doesn't do anything yet because we don't have that. Select item. We get the item text with the incoming item. What are you? When does that happen? Oh, poop juice. Yeah. Okay. We still have the select. Right now, this is like a script that gets tied to these things. We don't need that anymore. We've written that into the inventory manager. So what has to happen now is I have to see. I could send myself in, I guess. I could send the inventory. I guess image. I gotta know which one I'm clicking. So if I click, I guess it could have a number. Like I could name it a number. And that would just be named according to the array. This feels a little wonky. But I have no need for any other use of the buttons. I already populate everything. I already have all that info. Everything's already here. I mean, if I really want, I could put the game object for the button itself in here as well. And then I could search, I could have the button when you click it, send the game object. Like the button would just send itself and be like, hey, this is who I am. And then I would step through each and be like, are these the same game object? Yup. Okay, well then load up that information to then get the name and the long whatever the shit and you know, get the appropriate thing here. Maybe. The other one is just simply I could do the name of the object, where I'd simply, you know, get this method and say send a, it's not even the name then. Silly me, yeah. We're gonna do int, and this is gonna be slot ID. Okay, so we're gonna get all kinds of shit. We're gonna get inventory slots. When we select, it's gonna be inventory slots, array, and that's gonna be slot ID dot this ish item info dot, there we go. There we go. So that's what comes in now to get that. That's how we get the name and the long text. Item to render, instantiate incoming item, which now becomes item info. It's a preview object. Incoming item is going to get scale factor and the rotation. So this is where it's getting its information now. But it can only be enabled once that's... Ooh, I do need the oh. I think I need to actually do it as a button, because then I can easily set it as enabled or disabled or whatever. Or I guess I could check through here and be like, is there anything? Just do a check first and be like, there anything in here? You know, I'll clear it out. I'll empty it. That's fine because you're clicking on an empty slot. But then I guess I would say, I is less than item I guess I would just say 8 because that's what that is. I plus we add to it. Then we would say if slot ID equals I, then we would check to see. So basically, if I'm sending the same slot ID, I get that item out of the array. So I would say if these numbers are the same, cool. Then actually, you know what? I'm getting this slot ID. All I got to do, I don't even have to do this. Man, I'm dumb. All right. If inventory slots slot ID dot in use. So if it's not currently in use, we're just gonna return. There we go. I was about to write this whole fucking complicated thing. It's like I'm getting the direct number of which member of the array I'm looking at. So I check if it's not in use, I know there's nothing there, and I can just be like, get out of here. But I already cleared out the renderer. So now I don't actually, like, if I'm looking at an object and I click an empty slot, it'll clear out empty and it'll clear the text or not, because it won't. Here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna clear the text too. String dot empty. String dot empty. Boom. All right. Cool. I just saved about 6 times. That ought to do it. Render node rotating based on that. Now I don't think my render node is set up again, but that's okay. I got a lot of shit to plug in. I think we're good. More saves. Not enough saves. Populate slot. What is happening here? I ignored this. This was a separate thing. I'm getting rid of you. I don't need you anymore. If I did need you, I'll find out and I'll write you again. Item check. Data inventory drop item. We don't do anything with that yet, but instead we will send the same idea into your slot ID and we'll just clear everything out. But there's going to be an extra step. I could do remove item. Yeah, that is what I would do. I'll remove, yeah, let's just do that. Remove item, slot ID. But the reason I have a separate one for this is, what am I doing? What's happening? String? Oh, whoopsie doopsie. So we send the item ID to remove it. When we... Yeah. So we check those, so we'll remove it. Yeah, I have to do this because this is called from within the game, so I'll be stepping through everything I have. That's not through the inventory. But when I remove this, I know specifically which one, so I can send that information, and then I can clear the UI. So I would clear the UI object, and that's going to be slot ID, so that clears it. And then, so that removes everything, but then there will be extra stuff to spawn object again in world to pick up later. So now there is already, it's not plugged in anything. I'm not gonna make a button for it right now, but it's there and does some of the shit it needs to do. Hooray. All right, I think I'm ready to test this out. What a lot of writing. What a lot of tip-tapping. Tip-tapping on the old keys, on the old, what's happening? What is this? No, why? Oh, what is this? Load inventory. Oh, sorry, bro. UI handler. What? What is this? What am I looking at? What's happening? In-hand item. What? Fit. Oh, this is... Wait, what? I'm pretty sure I wrote all this already. Boop! The inventory visuals. Yeah, because I don't do those things anymore. I do it a completely different way. So, we're good. Okay, now what about you? Click data. Oh, you don't matter either anymore. I don't even use you as a script. So you can just piece right out. Okie dokie do. This is gonna get all, there we go, inventory slots. Shouldn't there be 8? It's specified. Inventory manager. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, whatever. Oh. Fine. So I was saying that we are doing them pockets first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is correct. So inventory manager, we'll lock this. Select them pockets. Inventory. Oh no. Yeah, I'm silly. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Okay. Item info, that gets added later. In use gets added later. That's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Write a script that does this for me. But then I'm doing similar to what I did before. Whatever. Here we are. It's fine. Okay. Cool. And now for each of these dudes here at their base, we're gonna have a little something. Right? I put something on these, didn't I? Oh yeah, the event trigger is there. Did I put it on this? No. The event trigger. Neat. All of these I'm gonna actually remove it because there's multiple. Remove. I'll set it up. Add component. Pointer click. So on click, we're going to add stuff, and we're going to go to the inventory manager, and then we're going to do select item, I believe it is. I don't know. No, this is all of this stuff is by White Bat Audio, Carl Casey. All of this stuff is this person right here, White Bat. When I get more than just this person in my music list, I'll obviously add and give links to them as well. Let's see. So inventory manager, and I go select item. Yeah, that's what I want. Select item, and this is going to be whatever. So right is going to be 7. Copy component. Paste component is new. 6. Paste component is new. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Put them just under pockets. There we go. So they're all together. I probably want to make them all buttons though. Because if I want them to like highlight or anything, I would have to write that shit in. I don't really want to do all that. But if I have a button, it'll just automatically do it. I can just set up whatever images I want and swapping and all that kind of junk. So maybe I'll do that. We'll see. It's easy enough if I want to set them back to buttons, because it's really just I mean, I could probably, let's save real quick. Save project, and I did like remove image, or remove this component, and remove this component, and add a button. Say, hey, you a button. You must have a graphic target. Oh, whoopsie dipsy. Wait a minute, it's just an image right now, so we're actually cool with this. So I can remove this component, just add a button to it, and now we good to go. Because now I can be like, whoop. If I remove this and make it white, there we go. See, now there's our basic, there's our white. Coolness. Packets. And then I would have to do the same thing again, where I go inventory manager, and that's left hand, so it would be inventory manager, select item. That's the first pocket, so 6. Then I could copy this, I guess, and go to the right hand, remove component. This component is new. But I'm right hand, so I gotta go back in here and be like, that's the target. And now when I set this back, it should change color. There we go. And that's gonna be 7. So the next step, the other stuff I'll mess with in a moment. The only difference right now is the color variance. So I'm going to take the inventory and I'm going to disable it. I'm going to head to the clipboard in dynamic. Clipboard and say, I'm a large item. Deal with it. And then all the other things here, my tubes, my formaldehyde, my methanol, they're all large items that you can only get one at a time. There's glitteraldehyde, also large items. There. So we can test this out. See what happens. We should see broken looking gross icons showing up in oh, you know what? Those things aren't enabled or disabled or anything at the moment. They're all stupid right now. But that's okay. Oh, whoopsie doopsie. I need to delete my save file. It has no idea what I'm talking about anymore. No, whoopsies. What's this? For UI, text builder, object, text object. Ooh, I see. What? It's missing stuff right now. Where's my text builder? Where's my text manager? Where are you? UI builder. Options, tech. What? Yeah. Yeah, okay, I was, yeah, I don't have distress there anymore. Hold up. I need that. We're gonna go ahead and delete this array element, I think. No, I won't. Instead, what I'm going to do is go back into my inventory and do what I'm supposed to do. UI manager. Inventory. And then under this, we're going to have bar is going to be UI, TextMess Pro. I'm gonna take you outside of it. Really? No, you big butt. There we go. And now in my UI builder, I'm gonna put this back in. There. And that should now say distressed when we load it up. Minor issue. Okay. No save file, no other issues. I think we're good. No errors. Cool. Oh, clipboard. Clickies. Hey, clipboard. The clipboard used for space to view. If I click on this one, nothing. Clears it out. Click on this. Hey, it's our clipboard. Hooray! Hooray! And now it says distress. Yeah! So it's a big black box, but I'll figure out what to do about that. All right, cool. So we've got that. Now, I should... we're gonna have to get a body out here, huh? This will be a good test for saving and loading too, so I'll do that. Oh, actually no, because I can pick this up first and see if I get another one in my big hands. Whoopsies, inventory manager. What do we got? Item ID. What? If item and inventory slots. We check, yeah, it's doing that. But we check to see if item ID equals ID out of the items in the item slots. And it says null reference, but we say for each inventory slot. There's nothing in there right now, I guess. Hold on. Inventory slots. There's friggin' 8. Now there's nothing. There's no item info in any of them. So I guess what I need to do is Yeah, because it's trying to check it and there's nothing there. So I would have to say if... Oops. Oopsie doopsie. Why wasn't this an issue before? That's weird. Item does not equal null. And the item ID equals that. Then we'll return true. What's weird is it checked before for... Oh, wait, this was the first time it stepped through it for the inventory slots, though. Because the other one, I believe, if I am taking... Hold on. Where's my item interact? Inventory item. That's just its information. Item interact. If it's a large item, then we add an item. Oh, and we specify that it's true. And in the inventory manager, when I add that, yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, that's on start. Add item, whether or not it's a large item. So if I do add item, let's see what's going on here. If it's in use, we're good. Where am I calling that? Let me check through this. Oh, I'm not getting my error anymore because I closed it. Ah, poop. Hold on. Where are you coming from? Item check. Oh. Yeah, okay. It's because the first thing I picked up was the clipboard, and because it's a large item, that's totally cool. We should be good now then. Item check. Yeah, okay, so if the item is not null and the item IDs match, then we return true. Otherwise, we step through until we don't have that and then we return false. This should work now. I think. Okay, nothing else. I do have my clipboard still. It's in there. Item name. Good, good, good. No, what are you doing? What are you now? What? I'm sorry. Let me see where you're coming from. So we do the interact check. We hit it. We say interact. We go, okay, it's a one at a time item. And the inventory manager item check. Okay. I'm checking to see if I have that item already. So it doesn't know. And then we get to here, and that's where it says I'm checking through each one in the inventory slots, and then if item doesn't equal null, and item info dot item ID equals ID. So whatever ID I'm sending. What am I sending? Hold on. Item ID. Yeah. Yeah. So if this item info to item ID equals ID, then we're good. So if item does not equal null, you know what? Maybe I need to check that before I can even do this. As stupid as that nested crap is, it's checking them both at the same time, I guess. So if it doesn't equal null, then well, let's try that. I think the issue is that it's, you know, it's checking both conditions at the same time. And obviously, if it's null, that's false, but then it's still trying to check it. So we'll see now. Okay. Check clipboard, good. Yups. Are you shitting me? How is it not null? It's totally null. It's checking the inventory slot. Oh, I'm stupid. Okay. Item info does not equal null. Of course, the other one's not null because, yeah. Okay. Fine. You win this round. Programming. There. Silly me, I was just checking the wrong thing. I'm checking these slots, and of course these slots over here are not null because there's 8 of them. And that's fine. But then it's like, I don't have any information now. Oh, silly me. Alright, let's try this again. There we are with our clipboard. Whoop-de-whoop. Cool. Come on, baby. Yeah, we took it. And now we've got an item. Whee! And this one should just say I can't carry anymore. Yep. I can't hold any more hand stuff. But I'm still taking it, which is questionable. What? Okay, what am I doing that's making that happen? I bet. Hold up. Let's check through what's happening here. It's adding it and destroying it. It's already checking it. But I should already have one. It's one at a time, which it is. And I already have it. I already have one. Otherwise, this should be stopping it on its own. Hold up. What are you doing? You're one at a time and a large item. So you should totally be like, I'm one at a time. And you don't have one because it's a double. Yeah, okay. Because it's a large item. And yeah. So yeah, it's one at a time. But it's checking my inventory and being like, I don't have this. So it's like, I'm going to add it. And then we get this. And then it destroys the object because it's like, I'm picking you up. Even though it's not. Son of a bitch. Okay. So we're adding the item. I could do the check. Hold on. Let's turn this off before I forget to do something. Nope, not you. Can't hold any more hand stuff. We shouldn't even get to here. Is where I should be. Is how I should be thinking right now. Say I've already got one. So I could say, I can make a bool that checks if both hands are full, and if that's the case, then I just can't even add it if it's a large item. But that's... Hey Shred, I'm doing good. How are you? I rewrote my entire inventory system, which is pretty cool, but now I'm dealing with fallout from little things here and there. But what are you gonna do, right? Okay, let's rethink some things. So if it's a large item and the item IDs equal each other, then it knows what to add that item. This is just checking at start, and then it will destroy it. But for here, I check, hey, am I a one at a time item and you already have me? Yup, okay, I've already got one, sorry buddy. If that's not the case, then it checks here. And I can only... See, here's the issue, is I think, even if my inventory is full, see, yeah, that's just checking if I have one already, and that's okay. Now, after that, though, I need to just check if my inventory is full. So I need to be like, if I'm a big item, if I'm a large item, I need to check my large items. If I'm a small item, I need to check all my small items. So what I could do, yeah. So let's write, I'll clear this out, but for now what I'm going to do is call it pocket. It's full. Whoopsies. Okay, so now we're going to step through each of these. We're going to say oh yeah, shut up. So if the pocket's full, ew. Turn false, turn true. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to check through each pocket, and if it's not in use, false, we are good to go. Pockets aren't full. Otherwise, our pockets are full. Public pool, hands full. Same deal, but just for the last two. We're going to say, oh wait, this actually isn't the same deal. Say if inventory slots 7 dot in use return false. So if it's not in use, return false. Else if 6, otherwise return true. So we check each of them. We say, hey, is this pocket in use? No, return false. Is this pocket in use? No, return false. Otherwise, return true. Our pockets are full, or our hands are full, rather. So now on my item interact, I'm checking to see if I have one. So I'll have an already have one audio byte. Else if, ooh. Interesting. I either nest it here or I could have two else ifs. Else if, like if it's a large item and inventory manager.is.hands are full, or hands are not full, rather, return false, we're going to go ahead and add it and do what we're supposed to do. Of course, I already know it's a large item, so I can just say yes, true, that's a large item. Else if it's not a large item, and we say inventory manager.ins. Pockets are full. So if our pockets aren't full, I'm going to say specifically, just for the sake of knowing that we are not a large item, then we're going to add, and it is not a large item. There. So now, if it is a small item, or rather one at a time, it doesn't matter if it's a large or small item. We check all of them and see if we already have one, and it'll say I already have one, and that's it. And we can, I mean, we'll just skip through it, it'll be fine. Then if we, whoopsies. If we add an item and my hands are full, I guess I would say else, you know, I can't hold that. I guess I would do ifs, so I could do an else, so I could have sound bites play off the audio manager that are, you know, here's like, I already have one, return. This will be same return, so we don't check it. Else. Oof. Yeah, I'll have to say else if a large item and hands are full. Debug log. I can't do hand stuff. Womp womp. And then here is going to again be an else if. It is a large item and our pockets are full. Oh, whoops, no, if it's not a large item and our pockets are full. Yeah, if it's a large item and our hands are not full, we pick up the object, destroy the object, we do everything we're supposed to do. Otherwise, if it is a large item and our hands are full, we say I can't do hand stuff. And then if none of those are met, we say, okay, well, we don't have a duplicate of the item, so we're good. It's not a hand item, it's not a large item. It is a small item, so it's not a large item, and our pockets are not full, we pick it up. If it is a small item and our pockets are full, we say no pocket room. We don't need to return because that's the end of everything. Okay, so now in the inventory manager, where we check those things, I can't do that anymore. So we don't care about that. We don't care about add at all anymore. So we can just take that out. Because it only gets added now if we actually have the space. It already checks it. So the only time we reach here is if we can actually even make it. If we can actually even add the item. So we would say, we come through then and say, if it's a small item, we do our small item add. Otherwise, if it's a large item, we check our two hands, whichever one is free, and then we will add, you know, if it's a special item or not. I could say, in this case, I could remove this. I could just have this at the bottom where we just check if it's a special item. Okay. All right. My brain. Inventory manager, we Gucci. Everything's good here. All of our stuff is set up. So I should actually have two large items because I picked one up. Oh wait, I didn't save after I got it. Never mind. So now I was able to pick it up. I have a large item. What about this? I already have one. Now what about you? I can't do hand stuff. Yay! Whee! Next thing we save. Saves these, resume. Next, actually, let me try one of these. It should say I can't do hand stuff. Thank you. All right, what about this? I can't do hand stuff. Womp womp. Perfect. Save. We're gonna pick up a scalpel as a pocket item, so we can get that. So there we go. You see we have a scalpel right here. There's our name. We get it. Scalpel cuts stuff by cutting into things, and it's not angled or anything, but you can see it's rotating right there. So now I'm going to save, and we should see a clipboard here, a bottle of whatever the shit there, because I haven't set up the item information yet, and a scalpel in our pockets. Fingers crossed, everybody. Oh wait, what am I doing? I didn't hit play. Like, what's happening? Why am I waiting? Okay. Here we go. Boop. Oh, look how we have 3. Okay. So we obviously have an issue there, but our clipboard and our whatever are here. So that's pretty rad. They're correct. Our scalpel, on the other hand, went a little rogue. Let me check my save file. It's not encrypted right now, so I can actually see what's going on. Pick up what's went down. 3 triangles? That's too many triangles! See, okay, I have 1 scalpel here. 1 scalpel. What's happening is something in the item script. That is item interact. When it starts, see, it adds these. And if it's a 1 at a time, it doesn't destroy itself. Because you could grab more and more and more. Pocket full of Doritos. So what's going on here that it is adding itself multiple times? It is a 1 at a time item. It's not a large item. Contains the item ID. So we add it. Not a large item. And it contains the item ID. Then I add that item to myself. But, ooh, I see. It's 1 at a time. No, she'll only be doing it once. So what's happening is there are 3 scalpels in the scene. I held up 2 fingers first, ignore that. Is each scalpel is doing exactly this. Because this is how I check in the world. Like, each object is like, do you have me? And if you do, then I delete myself. I add myself to your inventory. Hooray. Each one here. That's weird. I had this set up. I must have removed something in this overhaul. Ooh, yeah, the add item thing. Did I? Oh, I bet I deleted it when I was talking. Yep. That's probably it. Yeah, wait, what? No, here it is. If it contains the item ID, if it doesn't contain it, we add it. Otherwise, what? Okay. If saved data items contains item ID, or doesn't contain it, then we add it. Yeah, okay, this is, okay. Yeah. This was the thing that I was talking about at the very beginning of this, where I was like, this is something that's not going to make sense, and here we are. Look at this. So, if the inventory slot is not in use, and we don't contain that item, if our save doesn't contain that item, not individually, I could do that. But no. I'm not sure. I mean, I could. I'm still, like, this part I am formulating again. It worked separate. It worked differently before this whole overhaul. And now I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to keep that out? I could have, like, each object add a number at the end, but the problem with that is I have a lot of ID information tied into like getting the information and all that stuff. How do you know which one you've actually picked up? So for multiple items like that, where I can get more than one item, I can only carry one at a time. So I actually don't care if when you load back in that all the scalpels are back, right? I really don't care about that, because the whole point is that's where you go for scalpels. You're gonna go there and get one, and you can go do your thing, right? What's more important is that you can only carry one at a time. So I don't really care too much about that. I could go the extra step and make sure those specific ones don't spawn, but Herm. Because what I could do, I could go a step further. That's kind of a not polish, but like another pass on this though, is adding like an extra int at the end of the name or something like that. They have the same ID when you start a new game, or they generate it. No, they're the same. They're the same, because what they do is they also, whoopsies, those IDs also go into item info JSON, and that's where they get these things. That's where it pulls from. Item scalpel, right? And then scalpel long, cut stuff by cutting into things. And this is where it pulls from. So it uses that item ID. So I could do some sort of weird thing where I add a number on the end, and that like is its unique ID, and basically I go through my items and I say, hey, is this unique ID here? Well, don't spawn me, but I remove that number on the end before I go and get the item info, right? I could trim it off the end before doing it. So I could do something like that. The only problem is, like, I'd have to do it per object that I put down. I couldn't just really have it in code unless I'm checking against things, being like, does this number exist yet? Does this number exist yet? Otherwise, I could be like, okay, I got 3 scalpels down. You're 0, you're 1, you're 2, right? And then I could just add that onto the ID. And then, you know, whenever, like, that becomes my ID. But in the item object is the ID. I'll have to think about it. I'm not against it. I just have to think about it. But for now, my issue isn't that, you know, the other ones spawn. Like I said, you go back and get them one at a time anyway, so they serve their function regardless of if you grab a scalpel, you save your game, and you load back in tomorrow and all 3 scalpels are there, but you have a scalpel in your inventory. Like, that doesn't really matter to me, because again, you're using the same number that you usually would. You can only carry 1. It doesn't really change anything about the game, so that's why it's not a high priority thing. However, this issue of suddenly having 3 scalpels is weird, because I add the item. It's not a 1 at a time item, which means, you know, like the scalpel, I can only carry 1, so it doesn't destroy itself. If it's the clipboard or the flashlight or something that isn't like there are multiple instances of it, it'll just destroy itself on start. That's what's happening right now. It's a little lazy, admittedly, but you know, I'll take another pass at it. Much like I just gutted everything and rewrote stuff today, because I think there is, you know, value in some consistency there, but I think it's low priority. So I start. I'm not a large item because I'm a scalpel. My save data, I am in here, so I get added with my specific item object. I go into here to inventory manager, add item. Here's the object that comes through. I check my pockets if the slot is not in use. So this is happening 3 times. This is happening. Each scalpel is calling this, right? So, and this is necessary. This is only at the beginning of the game during load time. It's populating everything. So whatever it's going to be, these things are going to get called. They'll be loading. That's fine. But I check my inventory slots. I see, okay, this one's not in use. I will be a scalpel. Cool. If the game saved items contain, this is weird. Hold on. Item info. Item interact. Add item. So I'm already checking if the data contains that item, and I know it does, which is why I'm adding myself. This other part is for after the save information. This is for when I check if I don't have it, I add the item again to the save. Okay, that's what this is. Yeah, I check to, okay. I check and see, do I already contain this item, which I would if I have a save file. If not, then I'm in the game and I've picked it up and I haven't had it before, it will add it. This is a failsafe for when I start the game, because these items will already be in the save file. So it shouldn't add it again to the save file, which it didn't. We looked at the save file, we only have one scalpel. But what happens is the populate happens multiple times. It happens each time the scalpel wakes up because of the new system. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some drink. Maybe a nice LaCroix. I don't know. I'll be right back. My family has disappeared. I don't know where, but I'm sure it's fine. Wine down time? No, I actually got a LaCroix. It's just bubbly water. Soda for non-soda drinkers. Alright, so here's what's gonna happen. I have pockets full, hands full. Item check. I can check in my current inventory if I have this item. So it was a bit redundant, but basically, if we don't have this item, which sort of defeats the this defeats the purpose of the one at a time, because right now I'm basically saying you can only have one at a time. Imagine drinking Coke was so refreshing. Good, I'm happy. Be happy with your 38 grams of sugar. Meanwhile, I'm gonna down this LaCroix, and then I'm gonna do a nice workout after stream. So, you know, you do you. Fashion. That sounds like you jumped to conclusions. So this is, like I was saying, this is gonna kind of negate the idea of the one at a time, because I'm already checking. This is at the start though. This is specific to start, so I guess it's not a big deal. These other ones are the checks that already happened. So this should save our issue. Don't listen to the old man. All right, listen, you little shit. Everything's cool. Coke is good for you? Gross. I actually, you know, I don't have anything against soda. They're just too sweet for me now. Here comes the war stories? No. No, I just, back at Tryon, because it's been a long time now that I haven't been drinking soda, really. I started doing, like, I got in a huge fitness thing. I started doing MMA, and I was doing P90X, and I was just like, I was in the, you know, the stereotypical I used to be in amazing shape kind of thing. But regardless of that kind of tired concept, I had stopped drinking soda around that time because I was just trying to be healthier, and it was like a year later or something after not drinking soda. I had a soda and it was just so incredibly sweet. I could only drink like not even a quarter of it. It was just too much. It was just gross. So I stopped, and then I started drinking I started drinking Hint. That was, I think, when Hint just started getting super popular, or started getting popular, at least in like office settings. And that was like, oh, this is water and it's got flavor. Perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for, because I still want something that isn't water or coffee. And that turned into, you know, bubbly Hint and stuff at Disney, and here LaCroix is super cheap. So it's like, it's definitely not the best, and it's a little over-carbonated in my opinion, but it's still it is enough for me to feel like it's soda, because that's it's like super sweet stuff. Like, soda's just too sweet, and I like candy and shit too. I have a sweet tooth. It's just soda's too much. I don't know what it is. They've pumped it full of so much that it's just not enjoyable to me. But there's nothing against you doing it, and that's fine. Hey, look, I got one scalpel. But there's these three, so we'll, yeah. I could probably set up something pretty simple that's like, nah, I think the unique ID thing is probably the best way to go. But obviously I won't be doing that right now. But I can't pick it up. It's like I've already got one, because I got a scalpels, I got a clipboard, I got a this, and then I click this and there's nothing. Boop, 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 boop. I only have the 0 options of it, not for any reason other than I like the taste. Man, see, I wish I could like that. I can't stand like the aspartame or the other artificial sweeteners because I actually taste them, and I'm somebody who, if I have something with aspartame in it, I'll actually get headaches, and it's just gross. Now, not every diet soda uses aspartame, but a lot do, and for the most part, like I can taste that it's not sugar, and I would rather have a small amount of real sugar than a lot of fake stuff, or not fake, a lot of them are all natural, like stevia and things like that now, and that's totally fine, but even that, the taste is off to me, so it's like I would rather have a small amount of sugar than a lot of stevia or some other sweetener, You will be able to, Zas. That's kind of why I set up a bunch of code to be able to do that. The idea is you got your clipboard, you got your thing. You might be able, well, you'll be able to be like, I'm going to drop my clipboard right here so I can carry 2 things. And you'll be like, drop, and you'll be like, click, click, and then pick up. But right now you can't drop, but you soon. I actually have, it's going to be really easy to do because I have the scriptable object tied to these objects that that have the like interactive prefab on them. So all I need to do is get the player height basically and just drop it at that so it's on the floor. No, because I don't want you to. Yes. In a world where you could grab all these bottles like this or keep 6 scalpels on you, yeah. But in a world where I'm trying to control what the player's experience is, nah. You're gonna one at a time, like in the prototype. Because this is what I was talking about earlier, where I think one of the things that works in the prototype is this is actually why I revamped the entire item system. Was one, I came up with a new design for the UI that I liked, that I sketched out, so I built it out for that. But basically in the prototype you can only carry one thing at a time, and what that caused you to do was move around the room. You were looking for stuff, you were finding whatever behind shelves and things like that, and it caused you to end up looking at places like the window or like be wandering around and hear something, and it gives me a lot more control over what the player's doing, right? The item system before this, before my change here, was what you're talking about. You could just pick up any number of scalpels, any number of whatever, and you would just have it all in your inventory, and I could cap the number that the inventory could hold. But the problem with that is you could just pick up all the things for embalming, and you could just be like, okay, here I am, click, 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 okay, done. And then you wait, and then you're like, click, 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 okay, done. And that makes you, basically the game is just standing here clicking, right? For at least that part of it. So I decided the best thing to do is to still continue to go with what feels good in the prototype, because that's what I keep coming back to, is like, does it feel like the prototype? Does it feel like the prototype? But an expanded version of it that feels fun. And so that's why I went with, you're going to be able to carry one of each kind of embalming related item. But that could be subject to change. I don't know. But for now, I think it's going to be good to be like, okay, I need scalpels. They're over here. Boop, boop, scalpels. Excellent. All right, now I need to come over here and do this thing or something. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like, making a game is a lot of suspending some realities, right? It's more about making sure you deliver an experience to a player than make sure that every single potential, like, real world expectation is met, That's all. You're playing the game to have the shit scared out of you. I'm going to do the things that let the shit get scared out of you. Or at least let me set up those situations. Nah, I mean... I think this dude's already done it. Come on, Chantilla. Move to tablet. I also like what it kind of opens up for, like, not necessarily, not that I believe speedrunners would want to speedrun this game in any way, but you could be like, I'm going to gather everything and drop it all right here, right? And then you're going to, like, go through it and be like, click, click. Then it gives you the option to feel like you're not breaking the game, but you're like mastering the game kind of there, or doing something maybe you shouldn't, which I think speedrunners and certain types of players enjoy. So, you know, I think it works. Yes, this is a horror game. If you want to know more about it, there's actually a prototype you can play up on Steam and Itch. It's about 5 minutes worth of gameplay. It's a year old. So it's not like this. It's a much smaller experience, but it does set like the mood and the idea of what the game is and that sort of stuff. This game is an expansion on those ideas, and obviously, you know, much more to kind of give it a well-rounded, fun experience. And that's why I keep talking about making sure I come back to that concept.
So we're best friends now.
Too much light for a horror game. Hard point lights. Yeah, I know. They basically all have to... Hey, Jimmy, thank you very much. They all have to be this. Hold on. I'll fix it for you. Don't worry. I'll give you horror game lighting. There you go. There you go. Perfect. I do my job in complete darkness too. So what I've done with the lighting right now is I need to change the color of it and everything. I was thinking I'd like to have a, like, almost like a medical light, like a surgical, like, bright light right down here that it even almost even feels kind of blown out. So it has that, like well, bright surgical feel, even though that's not exactly what happens with embalming areas. But, you know, again, we're breaking the rules to make things fun. Yeah, there hasn't really been a lighting pass on this at all. I pretty much put lights out and a few things to, like, make them look how I imagine. Like, there's going to be a lamp here, so I did a cube map cookie for, like, you can see how it gets darker in the center but lighter at the top and bottom, and there's light up there and down there. But it's, yeah, that's like in preparation for that concept, but I haven't done much more about it. And this hallway, I believe I'm losing the windows. I'm gonna take them out. I think I like the idea of having an enclosed hallway with nothing, so I can do things. All kinds of weird things. There's plenty of windows everywhere else. Maybe the flashlight too, make sure that goes in my pocket. Come on, pocket light. Get our clipboard and I still have this. I need to make sure that comes out. We got our flashlight in a pocket, a scalpel. Cool, let's get out. Okay, I needed to get the lady out here to embalm and make sure my stuff gets removed. Come on, Shantilla. Shantilla Porm? I don't know. I need real names. My silly junk names. Oh, I cleared the save file. I could have done either one. Whatever. Submit. Back. Okay. This opens up. Let me clear this. All right. Clickies. Null reference. Perfect. Nailed it. What's going on here? Inventory manager. Remove item. What are you doing to grandma? Nothing now. Can I be in the game voice actor? Maybe. We'll see. Voice acting roles will open up at some point. Through all Chantillas. Okay, hold on. Let me save so she's on the table. There we go. And now let me dig into this. So it's saying that there is a no reference exception. Son of a bee. Inventory slot. Item info ID equals ID. Oh, this is that same silly thing. I have to keep checking now because the thing is, any one of these slots could have nothing, and that's going to cause a big old pain in the booty. Though, it should have found it before that. Because it's checking each one. Oh, the hands are last, so it's got it. Yup. Inventory does not equal null, and we get what we're looking for. No, stop. Don't worry, we'll get to draining this old lady. We'll get there. Let's just get this all set up. Here we go. Okay, so she should be here. We should have our items. Yep, we got our scalpel, we have a flashlight, and we have our whichever ingredient this is. So now we open up. Bloop. No. All right. What now? Object reference not set to an object. Remove special item. Inventory slot. Remove special item? Inventory. Because there's nothing. But wait, that's only if it's null. What? Hold on, let me check. Did it actually remove it? It did. Okay, so it did remove it. It went through all that, but I created. What? Slots, info, item ID, empty, items remove. Yeah, I remove it before I actually remove the thing. Order of operations is, I swear to God, order of operations and being 1 over in an array. that's your for loops being out of range by 1, and order of operations. Those are the things that will just smash your junk in smithereens. Okay, we got our stuff. Wha. Error. What now? Really? What? Okay, now I am confused. Inventory slot 1. Item info. Item ID. We just check. All we're doing is checking. Thank you. Thank you. Order before. Yeah. You and me both. All right. Remove special item. But it's not a special item. All it's doing is checking, and it takes inventory slots.
So we're best friends now.
Dot item info. Silver Fox, thank you very much to follow. I appreciate you very, very much. Megapixel, not so much for you sass. First time here, thank you very much. You're really nice yourself. So. ¿Por qué? Oh, I think I'm dumb. Oh, I think I'm going out of range by 1. Because I'm making sure... Wait, no, I'm less than 8, though. Not less than or equal to. Yeah, I know. Sorry. I'm sorry. My priority is fixing. Sure, but that doesn't always work, Dead Zone, because a lot of times there are things where I need the number in the loop to access other things, right? Like I've got here like clear UI object I, right? If I do a for each, I don't get anything out of there, and I have to start passing other information. And I feel like it just feels lighter to pass the number and use that number. All right, remove special item, inventory slot I, which is whatever this dude is, item info, item ID, which is the string. So all it's doing is going here. Why is it saying it's null? Yeah, no, I know you know. But it's not, it wasn't an out of range thing. But what's weird is I remove it from the save system. Oh, it's the clear UI object does it. It's still out of range. It's still, or rather, order of operations issue. I have to remove it first or check first before I do any of that stuff. I'm a big old silly face. Let me just... If error, don't do that. Do the good stuff instead. Very simple. Okay, this should be good. Hold on, let me switch it. I was going to hear about it. We're seeing as Unity now. There we go. Removed it. We're good. I'm missing something is what it says when I click it right now. That's what she'll be saying. So let's see. I need to be like boop. Skaboop. Yep. Now I don't know what I'm missing. So that's a thing. That's a thing. I'll have to have something that's like, this is already in here. Okay, I was right. There we go. So now we've done that. Now I can get some tubage. And I've got a scalpel, so I can go ahead and... there we go. She's... What? Oh my god. Oh my god. Because the clear UI object has to come after everything. I don't know why I keep thinking, I don't know why I didn't just do that at the beginning. I'm clearing all this information that I'm using before I use it. Because I'm a really smart guy. I make sure that all of my code is out of order as much as possible before I try it. It's fine. All right, third time's the charm, right? This is the third time? Third time. I got my white bottle. Cool. Sploop. There we go. White bottle. Sploop. This. Sploop. Blue bottle. Sploop. There we go. Now I got my scapal ready to go. Whoop. There we go. We cut. Now I don't have tubes, right? Haha, I don't have any tubing. So what? Now it's in my hands. It's a big old plus sign. So now we plug her in. There we go. We're good. Excellent. Wonderful. Start the pump. Oh no. Part of her is extruding beyond the underwear. We're going to look away. It's not actually there, but the geo is, and maybe that's enough for TOS. I don't know anymore. Turn it off. We're done. She pumped. We're good. Now we gotta remove this. Yep. And then close her up. Boom. Body's done. Hooray! Cool. Now I can, you know, move her back to wherever I want to go. Nice. Okay. Check my, yep, I got everything. I got my flashlight, clipboard, nothing else. So next, let's see, I got 16 minutes. 16 minutes. What's gonna happen is I am going to bring up my inventory and it's gonna be pockets. Each of these things are going to be disabled. That won't happen. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. They're not enabled. Boop, 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 boop. Not enabled. Right hand, left hand. Not enabled. Name, not enabled. There we go. So now they'll just be empty slots. And what's going to happen here is anytime an item is added, so we add it, populate UI objects. When I do that, I'm going to say inventory icon. I guess I'll do it after it's set. Who cares? Enabled equals truthitude. And then name dot enabled equals true. Turn these on. And then we're going to take these and we'll say false. 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 Could end it properly. There we go. Easy. Easy peasy. We got it. We're going to check the inventory now. I'm going to delete my saved information. Yeet. Get out of here. So I bring this up. Look at this. Look at all these empty everything. Hooray. I'll need to set those up as buttons. But now I pick this up. Hey, it's a clipboard. Great. Cool. Can I get the matches? Where are they at? Pocket matches. Matchbox. It's a stretched out joystick. Warning, very inflammable. Mr. Match. I'm gonna pick this up. Pick you up. Pick you up. Nuh-uh, can't do hand stuff. Got a scalpel, got our matchbook, got a clipboard, got humectant, I believe, yep. Feeling good. Feeling good about, I don't have that. Okay, I have a flashlight. Ah! Why does my sky look like butt? It's so low res. What happened? What happened to you? Need a new background color and figure out what I'm gonna do with all that. Maybe I will have this sort of color, maybe a little darker, and then I can match it with this. That'd feel pretty good, I think. That'd be okay. All right. What else was there? Also, what should the to-do list be? Right now it's embalming process, but that's not totally true anymore. We went down the inventory route. I guess it would still be embalming. Let's keep embalming process. We're just gonna keep layering on. I think that's good. I think that is okay to do stuff. Gotta have your goals, man. You know what I'm gonna do real quick is add, just because it's low-hanging fruit, it's right here, so I'm just gonna add the labeling for things. Let me take the distress one, go to 2D. Hands. No, not that. Hands. Title. Pockets. Oh, whoops, I did not mean to do that. There we go. All I wanted was this. Do 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 do. Do 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 boo. Let's go ahead and change these to buttons now. All of you. All of yous. So we need to remove the event trigger. We're going to add button component. And then that should just be a thing now. Like, that should be good. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I can oh, I can. Whee! Inventory manager. Inventory manager. Select item. Oh my god! Z, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Gifting to... Oh, okay. I thought it said to be it for Stank Murphy. Look at you. You getting free sub from Z. Thank you, Z. What a wonderful person. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did it. Now our buttons are buttons. And there's no stopping us. Ha 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 ha. And oh, you know what? I'm gonna make this white. My bad. Pockets. Highlight color will be like a gold. There. Well, Mason hasn't been here in a long time, so I think you're safe. I think that crown is up for grabs. I need to get on these emotes, fix them up. I got this weird skull. That's the new one, like the grump impressed, the lack of impressed. That looks sort of like Roger from American Dad. So I need to retool these. Scared you? I'm sorry, Stank. Thank you for lurking. Didn't mean to call you out. It was just the gifted. You go right back. Shh. It's okay. Just go right back. It's okay. I get it. I understand. We all understand. What? Okay, there we go. I swear I know what I'm doing. Sometimes I do. All right, so now I should have buttons for everything, and it should feel pretty good. So when I make the real art for it, it'll feel nice and yeah. Boop 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 boop. Yeah. Look at us go. Yeah. Yeah, all right. We're good at this. Oh, here's the next thing. Let me actually check. Did I, like, anchor all these properly? I bet I didn't. Oh, I may have. Hold on. Set a free aspect. Let's go ultra wide. Nope. Half this is wrong. And 1920, but let's do. Well, I just destroyed it. Oh, because it's center and it's dumb. Handy hands. You go over here. You center like you're supposed to. Go up in the corner. Pockets is. Go down here. I feel like these actually need to anchor to the upper corner as well, because I'm going to have art that will kind of need them all to be together. So that'll all be together. This will be bottom centaur. Bottom centaur. There we go. This will also be bottom centaur. U for the bar. Upper left. Oh yeah, this was all kind of stupid and bad. Upper left. Upper left. There we go. I think we're good now. Now I can take a look at it and see ultra wide. There we go. Look at us. I'll just have to come up with some artsy stuff that can tile so that this all kind of works at different aspect ratios. Do 4K. All the other ones basically kind of work. But yeah, this is 720. That's the small gross thing. Actually, maybe they should be in the lower corner. Everything from hands and pockets and the labels. Bottom left. So that they stay with this guy at least. So when I do like the 4K, that stays there. When I know no one's gonna really be in this, but now those are together and that feels better, I think. And now ultra wide. Yeah, that feels better. 1080, that feels good. 4K feels about the same. And then 16, the laptop weirdness, pretty close. 2K, more laptop weirdness, also okay. Cool, don't mind it. All right. I just need to make sure these individual elements are tied to each other in a way that isn't poop. Because like, yeah, like I wanted to have the close button tied into this, but I'm not really gonna be able to do that. It's gonna have to be its own thing. So that when it's like this, it'll look good. But when I make it, you know, when someone's on a monitor that's like this, for whatever weird archaic reason, it'll be like in a circle or something, or up here on its own. Okay. Well, we check my chicken scratchy scratch. we've gotten pretty good at like what the layout is. Obviously pockets changed to the 6 slot that I had done that we already see, where it's split down the middle here. Instead of all this junk. And so I'll come up with like neat looking artsy things. Kind of tie it all together. So I just want to do this so that I've got them for referrals. There we go. There. So this is kind of how it'll be now. I have all this squiggly, decorative-y stuff. I have a cross tied in with it there, skull tied in with it there. A lot of the, you know, kind of old feeling, like flourishy things that you get on like furniture, a little ornate curliness and stuff. Something that just feels old and almost like Depression antique era. Research movie nights. I'm not against that. Could be cool. But hey, it's 5 o'clock. I gotta go. But I mean, all things considered, this was some pretty good progress. Now, this was a system that was already there, but now it works with what I imagine the game design being. Everything's in place and set up to work with the artistic direction that I now have for the UI. So everything is ready to be prettied up. So now I don't have to touch it for a bit. Now I think we're pretty good. So I'm happy with that. I will be back tomorrow morning. You guys know the drill. So that's 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Time, and we'll be doing more of this. I'm gonna be thinking up what I need to hit up tomorrow. Who's live? Let's see. We got Divine. You know we're gonna throw love at Divine. Night Fox, you're my boy. He's going. All right, cool. Just wanted to make sure that he wasn't not going. Excuse for how much work you didn't do. It's true. On the surface, it doesn't look like I did very much. But I actually rewrote an entire system today. So, potato, right? All right. If you want to check out the little prototype, seriously, it's like 5 minutes of gameplay. I'd say it's worth checking out. It gives you a really good idea of what it is I'm building. And you kind of gets the wheels turning on what the expanded version could be. It's on Steam and on itch, so wherever you might want to grab it, there it is. What am I looking at? I swear, I always forget to do this. I realized it just now. The low light thing, which makes it all chuggy. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. And then also all the social stuff. That's where I'm going to post, progress from the stream, when I go live, stuff like that. Sometimes I give away free copies of my other games, and you can also support my work through Patreon, like everyone else on planet Earth. But mine is better. Maybe. Maybe you're more into this stuff. This kind of stuff, Anyway, we're gonna raid Divine Dev Studios. He's another developer. He's an Unreal developer. He's a super cool guy. Usually hanging out in his stream or CPAW's music. So that's basically the choices. That's what I check out. So worth hopping over and seeing everything that he does. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subs. Thank you for follows. You guys every single day. It's amazing. I was actually having kind of a bit of a bummer day, but streaming, talking to you guys made me feel better. So I really do appreciate you being here and all the support that you give, and especially the patrons. You guys are fucking cool. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again, everybody. I will see you bright and early at the ass crack of dawn. Later, everyone.
So we're best friends now.
Yo, hey, yeah, it's that time. Crap, man. I was trying to raid you, Darkstone. Oh man.